Hello there. In this tutorial, I'm going to discuss about the basics of Active Directory domain server, and in this tutorial, I'm going to discuss about creating users, groups, organizational unit, and how to work on those. So it's a very basic thing, and we already learned about those in the past, but even in those videos we might create it, but it for the newbies who are not aware of Active Directory domain service. For those it's required. So for those who are going to create a user group or you, how to go through an Active Directory domain services. So we're going to open Server Manager, and we'll tell you what are the Server Manager. You will find this detail about the computer name, domain, and all that. What are the roles installed? You can find out the role charts there, Active Directory domain services. Um, and when you span that, you will find the Active Directory users and computers and Active Directory sites and services. Since it's very important uh, 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 component of Active Directory domain services, and you find the domain objects, a lot many uh, units are created, or we find the built-in one, the columns are actually created. Uh, then DNS by default get installed whenever Active Directory you promote any domain to Active Directory. Since we need to in the resolved, and then features, group files, manager we're going to install, and diagnostic. There are a lot many things you will find with the server manager jar, and you might even get confused if it open first time. So you find the DSCP thing, Active Directory sites and services. A lot many things are there. And actually, this is the original way to work on Server Manager, since everything will be on one chart, rather than goes to administrative tools and then find the options and then go through it. Once you open the administrative tools, you will find the one wizard open, one window open. But here, the Server Manager, and that's the reason it's written Server Manager, because it's very complex, uh, very great way to open and work on the features of Active Directory or features of Server 2008 without going anywhere, sitting just sit at there. You can even change domain controller. This is what I'm talking about, the wizard. We just open a chart, or just open the window back to Directory users and computers. You just miss a couple of options, which if extra option will be there available, like filter, create a group, a new user, or you can hide, show an action pen, or took a help. So these options will be there. These are extra options are there at Active Directory users and computers, and you find the one label. Just change the label. So these are the options, and you can expand those at a window. This window's there. Even if you find these options, and there is a same option, you will find this the but the extra option like a filter, group, and user will be absent. Otherwise, all the necessary one like refresh and then hiding the pen, you will find this scroll bar. So all the options I've I think is available in from the server manager. That's the reason it's written as server manager, because everything is there on the wizard. So it's a uh, great way, but it will be a confusion one. It will enough to confuse you. The first thing we get to create, we already discussed about the query, uh, defining query, so no problem to, because we already learned about query. Now this will be our main point of how to create a object, or how to create a user, or how to create a, a group, and how to link those users to a particular group. This is the built-in one. You'll find lots of groups are there. Security group, these are built-in groups and get installed once you promote Active Directory domain services. You will find the administrator group, account operators, members can the backup operators, certificate service, DCOM access, cryptographic operators, district com users, even log readers, guest, and a lot many groups are there. Pre-2000 compatible access, so printer operators, remote desktop users, performance log users, a lot many things are there. Server operators, and then terminal servers, license server. Now this couple of our groups, like this terminal server, it actually installed once you install the row, so it gets added once you install the row. So few groups are depending on the rows, and it will only be gets added in the list once you install the particular row. So remote desktop uses, uh, for remote users, these will be available by default. Now computers, this column will show how many clients are available in the network. Currently only one client is there. Its name is administrator 1. We just show what are those users are. We keep on list out the administrator list out. We keep on increase the list. The number of the number of client gets added, it will get added. Um, you, you can even refresh to get those lists, so it will be there. Whatever client join the domain will get added to this list. A domain controller, currently the only sole domain is this DC, where I'm working on. Is just computer properties. Find the computer names DC, and only one, but if additional domain controller gets added, or additional or child domain gets added, then all these domain list will start popping up, and it will start uh, gathering the list. We start collecting the list. And first, security principles, and the most important one will be the users. And we got a lot many by default users are already there. Administrator, user, guest, and the DSCP users. These users will get added once you install DSCP administrator. So since DSCP is additional row, and then this TS web access, again, it will get added to the list once you promote your server to terminal server. So this is what we're talking about, creating a list, and these are by default. You won't have anything, won't have any rights to stop those. Uh, okay, so lot many options are there. Raise domain function. We already discussed about those. Change domain controller. Change domain. You can. Operation masters. We will discuss about those in upcoming videos. Operation masters. What are those in a server? How to transfer rows. Very interesting topic. Now, currently, we are create lot many options there. Computer contact group. But our first will be organizational unit. So, for example, just wants to give a name. Accounts. And to create an organizational unit, so for example, accounts name. Now, here we find the option protect container from accidental delete. We also done this practical before, that if we uncheck that column, then we can delete organizational unit anytime in future without getting any error or something. We can easily delete our organizational unit, but our organizational unit is a very important part of domain objects. Since it become an object, and groups and users who are aware or who are there in the organizational unit. For example, a person or admin uh, accidentally or wannabe delete organizational unit or purposely delete organizational unit, then the whole group and the user constraints in the available organizational unit will be deleted at the same time, and it might cause your future prospective works. So just check that, and it's very preferred to be checked. And you will find the domain controllers and count. You find the graphic are a bit similar, almost similar, because even that domain controllers are carrying a couple of organizational features, and that because and domain controller, whatever domain become a member of the forest will get added. Same like in this OU, if we create a user, a printer user, and we have a printer group, then we have list out what are these groups are, what are these users are in the OU. So have some features or user, for example, just wants to create a name, test user. So I'm creating a user, and you'll find the full name, then the logon name. So for example, wants to give a test user, and for example 1. So you can read a user logon name is test user 1 at techengineer.tv, or the pre-Windows 2000 login name is techengineer/test user 1. So we actually do a lot many practicals about login. Actually, the important, the very important, and the real method is to give a username like this. This is the only way. This is the preferred way to give a user logon name. Test user 1 at techengineer.tv. And when we give a credential with techengineer/test user 1, then we find it's a pre-Windows 2000, means the earlier version of 2000 are only support this much credential. For example, I just show you a remote desktop now. We give a credential. You see a lot many times we give a credential, but the preferred method, the real method to give a username logon is testuser1@techengineer.tv. You find the below there a domain column is filled with the domain. So this is the actual way to do a logon in the domain, but we give a logon credential to tech engineer slash test user one, which is not a good way. The reason is the .tv.com, these are the things. When you do a pre Windows 2000, there was a time only .com was there, but then .net, .com, .tv, and Tech Engineer. For example, I purchased a domain of .tv. It could be .net. Someone else could take a .com. Someone else could take .in. So it's allowed the domain to purchase like that. Now you just needs to give a password, so make sure the username will be read a correct way. So that these are the things. For example, the password I just wants to set is give any password, but log on. I'm talking about the log on. It's a real correct method of the log on was like that. So giving a password, and then user must change password at next logon. Now if you check that, then the logon or the user have to change the password immediately at the next logon. Sometimes not preferable in the domain, so I'm just uncheck that. Otherwise, whenever a user goes to check, if it get checked, then user have to change the password immediately in the logon. Now we're just saying user cannot change password. Now if we uncheck that column, then at next 42 days, from 1 day to 42 days, user have to change the password depending on the server's demand is. So with next 42 days, not only user manually can change a password, but at the 42th day, the next 42 date, server will give an error and server will ask to change a password for security reason. But if we don't want our user to change the password, then we simply say check the column so that user will never ever change the password. Now there again, password never expires. For example, if we don't want our password to get expires again, at 42 days password will start expiring. And if we the above column we uncheck, if we check the above column and we uncheck the below column, then we'll create a problem because password get expired and user not able to change the new password. So it shouldn't be like that. Both option should be either uncheck or should be either check. Account is disabled, not we just allow our user to log on with the credential. You can see user logon name again carefully. This is the right way to change a password and to change to log on to a client, and it's creating in the accounts OU, not in the journal, but we are creating this at accounts OU. So okay, finishing that, and the first user created at accounts OU. Now another thing where we just to give us new, then user, give another user first name, last name, logon name, next, give a password, password never expires, next, finish. Okay, seems like okay, we have to rename it, the user. Now we get okay. Test user 2. Two users are created. Now what we need to do is create a group. Now group name, it will again going to create an account. So you, for example, just wants to give uh, now group scopes are there: domain, local, and global, universal. For example, particular groups user will only be able to log on from local computers. This for the big organization. If a huge campus are there for the company, then domain local replies. Generally, only those users who remotely log on, only in the company, not remotely in outside, but locally. Global, we again, it would be some region. Depending upon the company's policies, which region to cover. For example, a company is available on 2 countries, then the global will apply. And universal, if for example a company is spread it all around the world, like Google. So all around the world, Google is there. So the employees of Google will able to log in to their server from any other country. A group type, security and distribution. This is depends on. We generally do security, but distribution, we actually made a XN server. So I think we created. Okay, we need to give a group name, something different. So say account group user, and 2 users are created now. Account, the group also created. Now what you has to add user. Now you can add this group to other group also, if for example available. So we could add a groups on one groups, uh, of subgroup or main group. We can create the group like that. So since we don't have a group, we can't add those. So now if for example how to add a user. So this is what group is. If you want to make this group a group member of another group, you can do, for example, administrator. This is a by default group, so you can make this account group a member of administrator group. Now if I want to, now this is what administrators group, and now what we need to do is we have to made this user a group member of so I'm just saying add group. So there is an option. Okay, we have to add a group, so will be account group. Okay, so the user become a member of account group. Goes to properties, find the member of option, and now you find not only the user is a domain user, but also a member of a group called account group user. Now you can even add a user via another way. So goes to members tab, add test user 2. Oops. Yes. Okay. Now here we go. Apply. Okay. So this is how we create a group and how to allow members to join group. Either we can update from group, or we can update the profile of a user. So this is how the basics of Active Directory is all about: create users, group, OU in ADDS. Hope you will learn something from it, and this is very interesting. This is for the basics user, and I hope you learn something from this tutorial. Thanks for watching.